Shane,
Yes.
have you seen Speed Racer?
Yes. Fuck. I fucked that up. I was trying to think of like a
Speed Racer gag?
Yeah.
We're just going. Cut to the song.
No.
Hey, Speed Racer! Second time in a row we've done that.
Second time around, we've absolutely ruined the intro.
The entire concept of
Yeah.
our intro and podcast.
I hadn't seen it, and then he showed it to me. So
and
that's the truth.
now he has.
And now I have. And now I have.
We sped into the future,
Yeah.
and now he's seen it.
Yeah.
This movie, man.
For podcast viewers, for the viewers instead of the listeners, we're always wearing the same clothes before the intro.
Yeah, do you notice? Does
Did y'all
anyone give a
notice that?
shit?
Did
I
anyone
literally
notice?
hilariously was thinking about the fact that I was like, wouldn't it be funny if we changed just to like prove a point? Just to like
Yeah, Speed Racer. Have you seen? What is your experience with the television show?
None. Not there was a version of the TV show from when I was a
Did it start
kid.
as an anime, like or
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
manga?
like a- oh, I have no
book?
idea about
Because I
that.
knew it started as like like an anime show.
My experience is pretty much limited to like I remember whichever version of the show this was. Whenever he would like be driving and he would like see the angle he needed to drive the car like in like yellow or something, like it would be like this like mathematic equation that he could see in his head.
cool.
That was the version I watched like 10 episodes of maybe.
Yeah.
Other than that, the movie is my only actual
Yeah.
experience with Speed Racer.
Yeah.
And the movie's incredible regardless of my connection to this in any way.
Yeah. I have no connection to the cartoon, the anime, the anything else. I mean, like obviously I was aware of it in some capacity, but I had never like watched it.
It's like one of the most iconic cars in media, you know,
Yeah.
looks great.
Wachowski sisters. What's your Wachowski sister knowledge? I
love-
think that's another interesting.
Love The Matrix.
Yeah.
I have varying degrees of connected to the other Matrix movies.
Yeah.
Like each one, there are things I like and don't quite connect with.
Right.
Other than the first one, which
Yeah, I
I
was
ju-
like,
which
the
I
other
which I
one's
just
unimpeachably
love.
great.
Yeah, which is just incredible.
Yeah.
I just recently, just this year, saw Bound for the first time, which I think is their very first movie,
think
at
so
least their
too.
first like movie.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's
Yeah.
super, super good and weird and very small. I like
Yeah.
that movie a lot. What are other Wachowski sister movies? Speed Racer.
Jupiter Ascending.
Didn't see. I totally forgot that was them. That's
Right?
funny.
That's a movie. The other obviously same love the Matrix. I have a lot of appreciation for the Matrix sequels. I think they are very imperfect, but in a really fascinating way.
So much of the second one is just really good.
Yeah.
Like so much of it is just real. The highway
Yes.
sequence is one of the best action sequences
Phenomenal.
like ever. It's
Phenomenal.
it's incredible. It's great.
And there's a lot to really like about the third one. It is like the weakest one for sure.
Yeah. Dude, Resurrections though, or Resurrections,
Yeah.
Resurgence, whatever the fuck the fourth one is.
Resurrections,
It's called
right?
Resurrections.
Yeah.
I like that movie.
Yeah.
It is so weird, and I don't
Yeah.
have any sort of great connection to it, but I do think it's really rad, and I
really-
enjoy the weirdness
I
of
really
it.
want to watch that one again. That is a weird one. I really want to watch that one again.
And that one's interesting because it was only Lana Wachowski.
Yes, it was only Lana, I believe.
So yeah, it wasn't both of them, which I was curious if they've done that much before. I should have looked that up. I don't
think
know if
so.
they've really directed outside of being a duo.
Yeah, I really, really think that was a rarity for the two of them, and like because I'm pretty sure it was like after one of their parents or both of their parents passing.
Yeah.
And like I
I
believe
know
like,
the studio was like,
we're gonna do
it
it
with or without you.
and like Lily was just like I can't like
Yeah.
and Lana was like I can't let someone else have it.
Yeah.
You know? So that one's a weird one.
Super big respect on doing the craziest shit possible with
yes,
it though. Like
and
that is super cool.
It is still a Matrix movie. It is
Yeah.
still a Wachowski Matrix movie.
Yes.
In all the best ways and weird ways.
For writing and directing duos to split for a movie,
Yeah.
because it's not common. Normally, if you're a writing duo, you're a writing duo, and normally, if you're a directing duo, you're a directing duo.
Man, that is like we covered the gamut except for Sense8 and Cloud Atlas, which I was going to talk about.
Yeah, I've not seen either of those. Though.
Cloud Atlas is we joked about it.
Yeah,
recently.
we talked about it recently.
That movie is incredibly weird, and I remember liking it, but like it's a hard watch in 2024 in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And it's as respectful as it can be while also doing what it is doing.
Yeah.
But I'm not. This is not a defense.
Yeah.
Because again, like that movie, the book, I wanted to like that book, and the book is just fucking. The first 2 chapters are just a diary of a dude on a ship.
Yeah.
Just talking about. Anyways, yeah, no, like I mean, it is bound. The Matrix, everything. Speed Racer, Cloud Atlas, Jupiter Ascending, and Sense8. I honestly thought they had a bigger
filmography. I wonder. I guarantee they've done some producing stuff.
Yeah, and they've done some writing and stuff, like Animatrix and things like that.
Yes.
Like, but even then, producer.
What would they do with just a fully animated thing?
Yeah,
like now today. Yeah. Oh,
V for Vendetta. They at least Lana was a producer on V for Vendetta, which feels. I haven't seen V for Vendetta, but that feels accurate.
Yeah, dude, I wish Letterboxd had a duos page. So for like the Coens, because the Coens do stuff separately more than a lot of other duos do.
Oh yeah.
I wish I could go to their specific, so I don't have to cross reference. I can just go, okay, this one was written by, but I don't think.
The other thing that's interesting is like, sometimes they will co-direct. Sometimes it's just Ethan or Joel.
I can't.
Anyways, it does not matter.
But it's weird.
The Wachowski sisters have always been
the Wachowski sisters.
Wachowski sisters.
Doing it together.
I believe. Yeah, I now know. Yeah, Resurrections is the first one they did not direct together.
And I wonder how much they still talked. You know what I mean? Like how much in conversation they were at least.
That would be And who knows? Like Lily might have just been fully out on it because again, it was like it had a lot to do.
The worst time and also kind of a forced hand thing. Yeah. Like. I don't know.
But anyways, I think that's just an interesting way to get us into.
I think they're fantastic directors, specifically fantastic like visual storytellers.
Yeah.
Like the way they use action to telegraph character and plot and like emotion is some of the best ever. Like
yes, truly.
Like I mean, just The Matrix and all that stuff. It's and this. I mean, Speed Racer, man. Like Speed Racer is a sensory overload.
Yeah.
In the best way, in a way that I think it like absolutely should be.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're masters of what they do.
Yeah.
Love their work. Can't wait to see what they come up with next.
What was your? Tell me your history with Speed Racer. Like when did you watch it first, and your kind of growth with it?
I never saw it in theaters. I saw it as a kid though, like shortly after it came out. Liked it. I think I watched it like quite a bit as a kid.
Right.
And then didn't watch it for a long time and remembered thinking it was gonna be one of those ones that like didn't age well. And then in college, I watched that Patrick H. Willems video where he talks about
verisimilitude.
Yeah, just like the abandoning realism and like the ability to do that and how this is like kind of the perfect movie to do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then I happened to be at like a FYE, which is like a used media store and collectible store. And they had like a $3 copy of it. And I was like, I was with my sister and I was like, we're going to get this and watch Speed Racer tonight because I've been thinking about this movie. And she's like, okay. And then we did, and I did, and it was awesome, and I've loved that movie ever since.
What did your sister think?
She really dug it. I remember she was super. We both loved The Monkey.
Yeah,
it's one of the few movies where like the humor shit, like the kid humor shit in it, is good. Like,
it's actually very.
It's actually a funny, good time, and there very rarely does it like step on moments.
Yeah, there's
like, a couple.
There's 2. There is specifically 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no memory of when this movie came out. Obviously, I was aware of it.
2008, alongside Iron Man. I know that because I went and saw Iron Man, and my younger siblings went and saw.
I think when I went and saw, I'm pretty sure I went and saw Iron Man at the drive-in, and I'm pretty sure that was when Spider-Man 3 came out. So I think I saw Iron Man and Spider-Man 3 in a double feature.
Wild.
Yeah.
What a time that was.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird to connect those two's tenure.
I could be wrong about that. I know we watched a double feature with another superhero movie.
It was the Hulk because they were in theaters at the same time.
Were they really?
I think Iron Man 2 and Hulk were. But I remember thinking that of like I remember standing at a theater and as a kid they, back in the day, at a Cinemark, they had like a sign, but it was Iron Man on one side of the sign and Hulk on the other, and there were 2 doors. And I was a kid. Like, I need to stress this, which, by the way, I'm proud of this joke to this day, where I was like, oh, we got to go left. That's where Iron Man 2, or that's where Hulk is playing. And the guy standing across from me in the hall was like, it's one theater. and I literally looked at him and went, I know. I was seriously like, I was a kid. Yeah. And I was like, dude, that was a funny joke. Come on. That's observational for a little kid to be like, look at that. We got to go that way. Yeah. Like, that's funny.
That's funny. Dumbass. So yeah, like I have like I gained so little of this through cultural osmosis.
Yeah.
I similarly saw the Patrick H. Willems video about his view on realism and verisimilitude. And it did very much pique my interest, but at the same time, I think it's probably been noted by consistent listeners or watchers of the pod. I have particular like feelings when it comes to like visual storytelling.
Yes.
Like I believe there is a like, and look, I'm going to say this and I don't mean it the way it sounds. I think there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
There isn't. There you can do anything at any time. Just there are certain things that take me out. There's certain things that I think go past that break the barrier of like believability into and it kind of gets into the uncanny valley of camera work in a lot of ways. And I knew what I had seen of this movie. I was like, that seems like that is 90% of the movie. Yeah. And it is. Yeah. But it fucks.
You know my theory on why?
Why?
Is most of the time when they cut to the snorri cam or those types of camera shots that or big digital camera moves that like call all this attention to themselves that are impossible to do.
Yeah.
It's because those are singular.
Yes.
The thing about this movie is that the entire thing is insane. So you're just like I told you, after about 5 or 10 minutes, you're just like, yep, this movie looks awesome. Like
every single shot is crazy.
Yeah. And like the CG has held up because it was never trying to be photoreal in any way. It was trying to be an animated movie. Like with the just composited live action elements in.
Yes. Like I think it's really funny because like there are so many movies or like television shows that have tried to redo anime.
Yeah, yeah.
And they just make a Western Hollywood movie.
Yeah, that's really flat.
With white people, with, these Japanese names.
Yeah.
And really boring camera work and bad CGI. Yeah. And they're like, look, they have the same names. So that is the same. No, this is what anime looks like in live action.
Yeah.
Like this is what live action
and
anime is.
We were talking about this a little bit too. It's like the closest we get is like Bollywood and Tollywood stuff where it's like they're willing to just give up on reality and let it be a guy who can fight a tiger and like jumping out of a car with it's like all of that is so anime, so energy based. Like let me just put it this way. There's a fight in Naruto that is entirely possible to do in live action. I'm convinced of this.
Yeah.
You could completely do it. It's for anyone listening, the Kakashi Obito fight, which is all choreography and like light jutsu and like their ability sets, but it's all choreography. The camera moves are for the most part entirely doable with a real camera. There's like 1 or 2 that are maybe not. You could completely do it. If it was ever attempted, it would be the most bland, boring version of what that fight is. Yeah. Because I don't know what, like, literally you could shot for shot recreate it and it would work.
Yeah.
Like it is so annoying to me how much people forego like a Speed Racer movie that was shot like Ford v Ferrari would bore me. And I love Ford v Ferrari.
Yeah. But like it's not anime. It's just really well crafted. Yeah. Like, I think there you can't do Speed Racer gritty or realistic or it's like it was a kids animated television show about a dude named Speed Racer who wants to be the best racer in the world.
Yeah.
Like his name is Speed. His given Christian name is Speed and his family name is Racer.
Yeah.
And and that doesn't mean you can't take it seriously.
Yeah.
That just means that we're dealing on a level we're in a level of melodrama and camp.
Yes.
While you can still take it seriously, like there can still be real emotions.
Yeah,
and,
it's at its core, it's telling a story about a family in turmoil.
Yeah.
Like a family at a stress point in their
Yeah.
lives. It's like about somebody trying to do the right thing for his family. Like
Yeah.
it all comes back to an honest, real emotion.
Yes.
Which is so often the thing that is forgotten.
Yeah.
Like there's a bunch of like the principles in storytelling where like everything comes back to character. And then there's another school of thought which everything comes back to story.
Yeah.
Like your characters are all in service of the story, which this is a story about a family. Doesn't matter that they're doing crazy race moves where cars flip and essentially fist fight.
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't matter. It's still a story about family. So how does everything come back to that?
Yeah.
And I think this is a great example of that, where it's like all of it is in service of this one idea.
100%.
To the point that like the anti-hero character is a representation of that, like the representation of the sad part of it,
Yeah.
versus the like guy who could do it and make it both. It's all great. Like it's
Yeah.
all dude, the storytelling in this, the first 10 minutes of this movie, the exposition it gets across in such an entertaining and speedy way,
Yes.
pun intended.
Yeah.
Is fascinating.
Yeah.
Where it's like there are other movies where they would have doled all that information out slowly over the first hour. This movie went, nah, you're gonna get everything in the first 10.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get you a little emotional at the beginning, like when he lets off the gas right at the end to
Yeah.
not let the record break. So good.
So good.
I
You
love that.
immediately know who he is.
Yeah, you're like,
That
okay, this
one
is a man.
decision, you know exactly who that character is.
Yeah.
Like,
And you know that it means something to his family, so you know they're still in that moment of turmoil.
yeah.
Such good. Like I love the Speed. Do you know who you're racing? And you're like, who? And then they represent it by having him like literally race the ghost of his brother.
Yeah.
It's so sick, dude.
Is that ghost on the track? Like, is that visible to other people?
No, like it's just him. You know what I mean? But,
That was
we, the audience, are seeing through his
Yeah.
POV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's so good.
Yeah.
Like the bit where they're going on like the figure eights and they're like crossing
Yes,
is
so
it's
good.
sick as shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't believe how much I liked this movie. I really was like, and I think, and I give you this credit, and I knew going in, but I think the doubling down of like before we sat down and watched it, he's like, look, just let it be what it is, let it happen, and you'll enjoy it. And like I knew that, but I think like the doubling down of just it is what it is, let it be what it is.
Well, and I try not to do that often, but there's like two movies I remember, which is this one, and then I remember doing that for Warrior.
Yeah.
Which like Warrior on the surface feels like it's just going to be a straight across the plate sports drama.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's way more complex
I
than
need
that.
to rewatch that one really bad.
And so like what I told you when we watched it, I was like, hey, don't try to get ahead of it.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, don't try to figure it out. Let the scene come like finish because it will almost always surprise you.
Yeah.
Like they know when to let it be a sports drama, but they also know when to like pull back and go, no, this is not what you thought. The scene in that movie where his dad is drunk.
Yeah.
Where it's like you think it's going to be this big explosive scene and it comes down to a moment of empathy and kindness. And you're like, everything I know about this character says that's wrong and this feels right, and I don't know how they did that.
Yeah.
Like that movie's so good. Warrior's like one of my favorite movies ever, if not my favorite movie
For
ever.
the longest time, that like just solidly was your favorite.
Yeah,
movie.
well, it's because how do you answer that question?
Oh,
I always
I'm not-
needed to throw one out. I was
in
like,
no way
Warrior.
am I.
It's also one that
yucking that yum.
It's also one that you can tell. It's like a litmus test a little bit, where you're like, oh, Warrior, and everyone's like, fuck, that movie does rule because
Yeah.
it's like not as seen as it should be.
No, yeah, because it was like it came out like right around the time as like Southpaw, and like
Yeah,
it's like look, and that's not me talking shit about Southpaw.
Southpaw's a pretty good movie,
But and Rocky Balboa,
Yeah.
and like look, Rocky Balboa also great,
and
like,
it
just
marketed itself as
a sports.
as the next Rocky,
Yes.
literally, and so I rejected it entirely because
Yeah.
I am a student of Rocky,
Yeah.
like
a disciple,
a
of
disciple of Rocky. Yeah. Yes, I am the disciple of Rocky, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I try not to give that like disclaimer in front of movies, but there are certain ones where I'm like, look, it is important that you meet this one on its level.
Yeah.
Don't try to outsmart it. Don't
Yeah.
try to be better than it. Not
No.
saying you do those things, but like we've all done
No,
that.
yeah,
We've
yeah.
all gone into a movie thinking like, I know what this is.
You're trying to figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there are certain movies you do that with, and there are certain movies you just go like, you know what? I'm gonna let this one wash over me.
Yeah.
And Speed Racer is so insane
Yeah.
that if you don't get on board, it's gonna be a terrible experience.
Yeah.
And if you don't get on board, are you fun?
Yeah.
Are you an interesting, cool person?
And look, it's not like I didn't get ahead of it a couple times.
No, yeah,
you know
totally,
what I mean? Like,
totally.
Like I got ahead of it a couple, and every time it like surprised me. Either it didn't do the thing I thought it was going to do, or it did it completely differently.
Yeah.
Like it was like right at the beginning with Rex.
Yeah.
Rex.
Rex Racer.
Rex Racer. With Rex, and I was like, I wonder if something very traumatic is going to happen, and it just doesn't happen. Like you don't even see it like at all.
You see like the aftermath of the car burning, and that's like
and like it's not even like super clear exactly what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, and then like later the reverse.
Yeah.
I was like. I was like, it's Rex. I mean, that's Rex. Like that dude's Rex. And then he's like, nope, I'm not Rex. And I'm like, whoa.
Because part of you's in that moment think like in your brain, you're like, well, logically it's right. But part of you's like, did they plant a red herring to like make you engage with this relationship to get you to this moment?
Yeah.
Which would be a brilliant move. Like it really would.
Work. It would
work even without the next one.
It would. Yeah. Like that would so work if it just was was another guy.
Oh yeah.
Like if it just was a dude, and it still works knowing that it is actually him.
Yeah, it is a genuinely really clever way to play with your expectation of what's obvious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's that's something that no one talks about enough in this movie. How well it does it.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Yeah, I think to circle back a tiny bit, all of the humor super worked for me. It's all
heightened,
simple.
And,
it's all simple humor, but it's all good. It's all like it isn't like childish.
No.
It's just simple.
Yeah.
In a way that like children and adults can laugh at in a way that is so good.
I appreciate the movie taking its time to have them watching an anime and then like they're reenacting. It's like it endears you to them so much in a way that like normally those two would be the annoying pair we have to deal with in an otherwise really cool movie.
Yeah.
But in this one, they're just a great part of the movie.
There are two scenes where and it isn't what they do with it. It just is the timing of where they put it. It's when Speed Racer goes to the freaking van
to return the suit and say no,
and when they cut away in the middle of this really powerful scene where like the mask drops and you see him for what he truly is, and then it cuts to them in the plane like stealing the candy.
Yeah.
I'm like y'all could have put that before this scene or after, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like putting it right in the middle, I thought was mistimed.
Kind of
personally
broke it a little. Yes,
and I think you had a good thought that like
I mentioned I was like maybe it's the studio was looking at that one scene. They're like, this is getting a little intense for a kids movie. We need something to split this up.
Right.
I would be fascinated to pull it and like see how that scene plays together.
I could see kids squirming a little bit by the end of that conversation.
He gets really chewing the scenery.
Yeah, like for a kid, he'd be like scary. Like, he's mean. He's being mean to Speed. And so like I understand like that mentality I can at least wrap my head around. And then the very last scene like with the kiss and which is silly. It doesn't bother me nearly as much as the other.
It's a funnier, more inventive version of they kiss and then we cut to them and they're like, ugh, cuties. It's like it's a more inventive version of that. I think it cuts the moment because that moment's really good. Like I don't know.
I think the thing that like the reason fully doesn't work for me is just the fact that is the only time they pull that move.
That kind of fourth wall break.
Wall break. That's the only time they pull it like that. And like, but again, it's like it's okay. It's a silly joke.
We're already at this point in the movie where again the cars are essentially fist fighting each other. Like,
right. and it's not his relationship with Trixie isn't like super developed. So
no, but you know what? It's endearing.
Yes.
The them as kids, their like backstory.
Right.
It's the narrative economy of getting you to be like, aw, is really strong.
They don't take any time to get you the like, okay, they're a good couple. You know what I mean? Like it's just the fact, like the reason I say that is like if it was him getting the trophy or him crossing the finish line or something like that, where like that is like the crux of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I have a harder time with it. But it's the fact that it's his kiss with her that's the moment that, because that's not what the movie's about. It's not about his love for Trixie.
Yeah.
It's about other. So it's like if that is the moment that they chose to like break up okay. Like I'm not.
That's fine.
It's again not a deal breaker. It's like those are the things I have
Literally kind of the only two
any
issues
criticism
of the movie.
for. Like,
Let's take a moment to talk about Matthew Fox.
oh, dude.
You and I both have a deep fondness for Lost. Like we are both Lost fans.
I am a Lost
you
disciple.
Oh, yes, you are.
Like, yeah.
Lost is great, and I'm just gonna say it. The ending is good, and everyone who doesn't like it is dumb and didn't get it.
I agree.
Like the ending,
I've never agreed with anything.
The ending of Lost is good. Like, look, don't get me wrong. The last couple seasons are shaky, which is not their fault as much as I think people think it is. It's very much the writer's strike threw everything into turmoil, and then studio changes and yada yada yada, on and on and on. The ending is good.
Yeah.
It's emotional and interesting. You just have to think about it for all of 10 seconds, and you'll figure it out.
Everybody saw what they wanted to see or what they thought
Yes.
it was. And I'm like, no, that's not that.
It's not that,
You have
guys.
never been more wrong. Are you in the ballpark? Kind of. But you're not. That's not what it is.
Yeah.
That is not what it is. Get your head on straight. Think about it for more than 45 seconds and it will make sense.
Yeah. Truly. And Matthew Fox, very good.
Matthew Fox is phenomenal.
He is a actor that has been so weirdly unable to break out of that role, even though he's done really pretty interesting work. Like Bone
Yeah.
Tomahawk is a really good movie, and he's really good in it.
Yeah.
And then he did this.
Yeah.
And kind of should play Batman a little bit.
Yeah,
Like,
I called that while we were watching the movie, and the entire time for the rest of the movie, I was like, no, Matthew Fox would be an incredibly good Batman.
like a specific one. Like,
yeah, he couldn't do every single
like,
version of Batman.
like I kind of pitched it after you said. I was like, Mary Burton and Nolan as one thing, and I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't do Pattinson, and
No.
I don't think he could do like hyper intense comic booky version.
No.
But I think if you do some kind of mix of the comic booky and the
Give
realism,
a little bit of Golden Age in there.
A little bit,
of
yeah.
that. And like, yeah, I think he would be really good at that.
he's got the jawline, man.
Give him like an older Bruce Wayne where
Yeah.
he's got Robin
Yeah.
or, you know what I mean?
He's
Like,
at Damien, you know what I
Yeah,
mean, and he's
yes,
got a
yeah.
son. I don't
Yes.
know. I think he's like the end all be all best choice? No, but I think
he's a
he could
good
do it.
one.
At the very least, let him voice Batman in something, because I think he'd be good at it. Yeah.
Because he like, there's a couple of moments where it's like, no, he has like the timbre of Kevin Conroy.
Yeah,
Like,
a little
it's
bit.
not-
yeah.
He doesn't sound exactly. He's obviously not doing an impression.
He's like,
this
this
is a different character.
Yeah, it's like, this is a bad idea.
But he
It's
has
like,
the
he does it.
timbre of-
He's got a
of Kevin
good
Conroy.
way to swap his voice without going gargle mode.
Yes.
You know, he lowers it an octave, like
Yeah.
which is what Pattinson did and what
Yeah.
Bale should have done.
Yeah, dude, I'm saying like
Jimmy Gunn,
Jimmy.
you heard it here first.
Yeah.
I know you're an avid listener.
It's like like put him on a TV show. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like that would
Yeah,
be
like
so
why wasn't
cool.
he Batman in Titans? You know,
Yeah.
or some shit like that. Because
Who was?
Mormont from Game of Thrones, Jorah was Bruce
Oh.
Wayne. And, yeah,
Fascinating.
wild choice
Weird.
did not work.
I love that actor, and I
love that actor. There's nothing like that. They just didn't really do much with him, and also he just felt like the wrong choice to play Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Fascinating. Okay, I would love to hear the voice.
He just is Bruce Wayne the whole time. He doesn't actually get in the bat suit and do
okay.
shit.
I mean, even as Bruce Wayne, like because he's
his
Irish or
accent
Scottish
doesn't
accent.
completely work.
Yeah.
I'll show you a clip later.
Weird.
But yeah, why wasn't like Matthew Fox that? Like you,
That would've been
you couldn't
perfect
get Fox. You couldn't get Matthew.
You could get Matthew.
You could get Matthew. Anyway, that's to be said. I think he's also really good in this movie and gives himself so completely to the camp of it all in a way that like I didn't think he would.
I don't think anybody misunderstood the assignment.
No,
and it would be
no.
so easy to misunderstand.
Yeah, dude, John Goodman is also so good in this movie.
Yeah.
Like
He's got like he's on a different level than everyone else,
Mm-hmm.
but in like he's not as like camp as
but
everyone
he's
else.
so sincere
But
in
he's
all
so
the right
sincere,
like dad ways. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Susan Sarandon is a queen. I
Yeah.
will love you to my dying breath.
Christina Ricci,
Christina Ricci, queen.
amazing.
Queen. The kid and the monkey.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Both of them are great.
Yeah. The shout out to the monkey and
Shout
his
out.
handlers. Like
Yeah.
wonderful.
That monkey gave a great performance.
Adorable performance. And the kid's hilarious.
Yeah.
What's his name?
The kid?
No, the main actor. Speed Racer. Do you know what his freaking
Emil something.
Emil Hurd?
or something like that. He's not been in a ton.
No, another one that I'm like disappointed. Like he's
where is he?
Because he did like
he did Lone Survivor,
and Into the Wild. I think is like the thing he's like known for.
Yeah, which is a movie I don't. It's a story I don't love. I have no issue with the movie. Apparently, he's in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, he's one of Sharon Tate's like friends, right? Like he's
probably
he's the one who's like in love with her, but like
I think that's it. Yeah.
And he's done some other stuff. He's also written some movies, which I think
he's not in.
He's written exactly 2 movies that he's not in, which I think is
really
a
fascinating thing to happen. But
like late era Bruce Willis movies.
Yeah, I feel like Speed Racer not being like a massive success, which I don't know if it was a box office bomb by any means.
I don't know, like off the top of my head, but I would guess every dollar in my wallet that movie did not. Because it is. Let's fight. Shit, that's not the one I think I need to look at. I need to look at that one. Bad.
What's the budget?
Budget 120 million.
Well, yeah.
I mean, look at it. Yeah. Box office 93.
Oh, that's bad. That's really rough. I don't like to hear that.
Really, really bad.
That movie's better than that.
That movie's so much better than that. If I would bet again the money in my wallet that which $20. I would I'd bet $20 hard dollars that the marketing for this movie was garbage.
Yeah.
Like this is one of those movies where it's like if you do not market the movie for what it actually is, no one's gonna like it.
No.
And like it's I think it's a hard sell just out of the blue.
Yeah, to market correctly.
To market correctly. Like you don't have Spencer sitting next to you in the room going,
let it be what it is.
Let it be what it is.
Let it wash over you.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah. This movie's good, y'all.
This movie's fucking good. Do you have a favorite race/action segment?
That's
is there one that really sticks out? Like part of me really fucking loves the first cross country one.
Yeah,
where they're like all battling it out in the desert, and
that's a good
there's
one.
The fucking
that one's so fun.
Beehive catapult weapon that backfires, which is fun.
I mean, that very first race where he's racing his brother
is the most emotional. It's the most emotional. Although I do love when he's like listen to the car, like that is so heightened and huge. And then that shot where he like shot of all fucking time, where he like peels out and does like 3 and then whips right past the camera. You're like, holy shit. But that bit, and then the way he's like going against the best ever to do it, and he's like lessons over, and he just it's good shit, man. It's good shit. I love a moment when they like enter the Matrix. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where they just the character
the Wachowskis.
Where the character just like lines in and they just dial in and lock in on whatever it is they do. I love shit like that. It's why I love like a action movie moment where they like the character's like, they crossed a line. And then they just go tearing through the hallway, beating the shit out of everybody. Literally. Love those scenes. It's like that's a trope that is very much effective on me. Yeah. This movie does that great. I love the fight, and I love how all the fights look because they're crazy. But when Racer X like whips out the and then steps out into the light, and you're like, whoa.
That's a good one. Yeah, like
Matthew.
That one's so fun.
And then John Goodman beating. He's like more like a ninja. It's a shame what passes for ninjas these days. You're like,
that's so good.
You're like, what?
It's such a silly joke.
Yeah. When he's spinning him and his like shuriken are just blasting into the walls, his keys. It's great gag. It's
good movie, y'all. Yeah. Good movie, y'all.
And visually, like, it's so gorgeous. Like it
is insane. It is insane to behold. Yeah. But it is doing so much cool, fun shit. And like it isn't doing the same old boring shit. Yeah. It's like it is a whole new.
It would have been so easy for them to not make the races like these like spinning across upside down, going through like blades and cars flipping. It like so easy for them to not do that, and they gave that to us. Yeah, because they care. So that's super nice to have. Fucking this movie rules immensely hard, and I'm so glad it exists, and I'm glad it like eventually found its audience.
Yeah, like it's definitely got like a cult.
It's one of those that like eventually people were like, wait, was this like great the whole time? And
part of me really actually like wants to go back and watch Cloud Atlas, and just like
I want to watch it at some point just to see
like
it.
there are things that are really good about it.
Yeah,
it just has like one big blaring.
I want to see Jupiter Ascending.
That you know what I mean? Yeah, I also do. Weird cat man chanting or dog man.
We had a class in film school. I went to film school.
What?
Yeah, and I'm not gonna dox the people we were with because he was saying a vaguely negative thing. But they were like cool screenwriter dudes who like actually work on stuff, and they were doing a Q&A. It was like 10 of us in the class who showed up that day, which insane how large that class was. And people were like, "Talk to these guys? No way!" And I was like, "You idiots."
Dumb.
But I asked him a question, whatever. They were super nice, super cool. But he was talking. It was during the pandemic, and so one of the two guys was like, "Yeah, I've been going through and watching like directors' movies that didn't quite work. You know, where it's like all of their style is there, all of what makes them is there, but something's not working." And he talked about Jupiter Ascending, and I've always been fascinated by that concept of like, what is that like? What I'm curious now, what's not working? You know?
Yeah.
So I want to watch it. Plus, I love Channing Tatum. So why not? Love a big Gonzo sci-fi movie too.
Yeah.
Sometimes like John Carter.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I want to go. I want to finish out their filmography. I'm close.
Yeah.
I should just do it.
Oh, I am knocking on heaven's door with that one.
Yeah.
All I have to do is watch Bound, and then like Sense8's a show, right?
I think. Great question. Don't know.
Because like I thought it was a show, but then it's on Letterboxd. I don't know.
No, yeah. Limited series.
Limited series. I think it's just Bound. I think that's the only one I haven't seen
Gotta do it.
at this point, other than Sense8. But I think that's a show.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on Spud Racer?
On
Spud Racer?
No, I want like everyone in this cast to work more because I think they're all great.
Yeah.
I want more movies like this, more movies willing to adapt the source material in such insane and vibrant ways. Like
to understand like what was cool and fun about the original, and
like
just do that in a different medium.
First off, we need to be making more animated remakes of live action movies than live action remakes of animated movies.
Bars.
I hardcore believe that because apparently the new Terminator anime is great.
Oh, really?
Apparently it's awesome. So I'm gonna watch that soon. But why animation is perfectly valid, but if you're gonna do it like this.
Yeah.
Like this is how it's done.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to me that more people take the animation medium and do it in such a dull, flat way.
And just do it like a live action movie.
Yeah, it's like I wanted they're doing a My Hero anime and I'm not excited about it. Or a My Hero live action adaptation. And I'm like not excited about it. It's like, dude, the thing that makes that work so well is how expressive the animation is. Like there's no way to fully replicate that with a real human body without it looking insane. Like
truly.
So whatever. It's also would be my lesson is just taking the source material seriously and not just meeting it on its like story and characters, but meeting it on its style. You know, like meeting it on its vibrance or lack thereof, its energy or its lack thereof. You know what I mean? Like, be true to it, do your own thing, but be true to it.
Yeah,
that would be my lesson. Is do that shit because it's so much cooler when you do. Like,
I think very close to that mind would be like if you're gonna do the bit, commit to it. Like the visual style. It isn't just like one flashy thing. The entire movie is flashy, and so it's like. Look, and it has moments of absolute insanity where it turns into this surreal like paintbrush and it gets crazy at the very end, where it's like it's hard to tell exactly what's happening. It's so surreal and like, but you feel the emotion, you feel the propulsion, you know what's happening. It's just like the physical space changes completely. Yeah, and it's like. That is how you do insane visuals without it breaking the world. It's because the entire world looks insane. Yeah. So like if everything is insane, nothing is.
It all just becomes reality.
But it is still cool. It is still, anyways.
I mean, it's the Roger Deakins theory of right. It's like whatever your cinematography choices are, just make sure they all feel cohesive within each other. It's like
if one stands out from the rest, you've failed.
Which I don't 100% agree with. But it is a great principle to have. It's like you can't put all of your money on one shot. Yes. You know what I mean? Because that's how they produce movies. Yeah. They tell you shot by shot how much it's going to cost.
Yeah.
And so you have to just distribute that to make it all match and all look good. Like, that's why occasionally you'll watch a movie and they'll cut to a new shot and you're like, that doesn't match the other one, but it's gorgeous, but it doesn't match how the other one looks because it's a moment. And there are times when it works and there are times when it doesn't. But the times when it does is when a lot of the rest of the movie is doing shit like that, where it's really surreal.
Yeah.
That's when it works.
Bars.
Anyway.
B segment.
B segment.
I did not prepare a special game ahead of time, so we're going to be doing some movie trivia. Ooh. Let me grab the thing. Okay. Are you ready for your question?
I'm ready. You can pick whichever of the two.
When Michael Madsen is interrogating the police officer in Reservoir Dogs, what song is being played?
I have no idea.
Do you even know the chorus or anything like that?
I can vaguely, sorta, kinda, but anyway, no.
Stuck in the Middle with You by Steelers Wheel.
There we go.
Stuck in the middle with you.
I'm really bad about song.
That needle drops.
And I've also not seen Reservoir Dogs in about 3 years.
Ooh, it's been
3-4 years
since I've seen it. I might have only seen it once a very, very long time ago. Like when I first watched it when I was in middle school.
Did we not watch? No, me and another friend watched that one. Okay, my turn. Who composed the theme for The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly?
Antonio Morricone.
You got the last name right?
Oh.
Ennio
Morricone. Sorry.
I'm gonna give it to you.
I would close enough.
I'm gonna give it to you.
Or wait, are we doing both on these? Because there's two.
No,
questions.
just one. Okay.
If that is the case, let me put that one down. Which movie did Tim Burton have 40 squirrels trained to crack nuts?
Tim Burton.
The
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah. Oh, I said this after we finished the movie, and I fully believe it. The Charlie and the Speed Racer is what Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, by the Tim Burton one. That's what that wanted to be. It wanted to be Speed Racer, but it isn't. It isn't Speed Racer. But yeah, you got that one.
What is Sean Connery's real name? First name.
Oh, Seamus?
Thomas.
I got the second syllable correct.
So weird. I didn't know that. Well, it's what is Michael Keaton's real name is
Michael Douglas.
And you're like, fuck.
Yeah, and he couldn't be Mike Douglas either because there's a TV show announcer or something from the 60s or something. What is Captain Jack Sparrow's key catchphrase in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies? It's like this one feels kind of cheap. That's like what he will say at the end of a sentence.
Savvy?
Yep. You got it.
Because I was trying to think, what's that thing he always says when he gets away? He's like, "You'll remember this is the day you almost caught." That's what I thought it was.
Catchphrase is. Yeah. Savvy is just his
verbal tick. Yeah. Let's see if you know this one. Who played the bell ringer in the movie Rocky? The guy, at the end of the rounds, who would ring the bell? Who was that?
I have no idea. Literally no clue.
Frank Stallone, Sly's father.
Really?
Yeah, they have a bad relationship. But, they kind of made up in the end, I think.
Oh. That's a fun piece of trivia right there. In the film Top Gun, which jets do the pilots fly?
F-18.
So close. It's a different number, but it is F1 number.
16?
No, one more. I'll give you one more. You're very close. You're headed in the right direction.
F-14.
It's F-14. Okay. F-14 Tomcats.
I'm gonna
give you that one.
No. I didn't get that one. I should have known that. Okay. I should have known that.
You were so close, though.
Because I think the F-18 is the backwards one they fly in Maverick, and then they get in the F-14 at the end, and I should have known that. In Greece, what two colors does Danny Zuko wear at the school dance?
Oh shit! I don't know. Blue and pink.
Black and pink.
Oh,
I'll give you half of that. I tear the card and hand it back.
I was so close to that one. Which actress starred in the movie thriller Girl on the Train? This is from just a few years ago. This isn't that old.
Oh, Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
Shit, I was like, is there a different girl?
You are killing me. You're running away with it.
This one's who played Bilbo Baggins in the 2014 movie The Hobbit: The Battle of Five Armies?
Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
Does Martin Freeman suck? I can't remember.
I don't know.
I think he said some weird shit recently. I can't
Who hasn't at this point? I'm like, oh god.
Funny that this is the question. In the Disney movie John Carter, which planet does Carter travel to?
Mars.
Yes.
What's the name of the assassin's deadly enemies in Assassin's Creed 2? Now that's a video game one, so if you don't know it, I will ask a different question.
The deadly enemies in Assassin's Creed 2.
Because I don't know why this is in here, because there's not been an Assassin's Creed 2 movie.
The East India
The
trading?
Templars. But I'm getting that one doesn't count.
I thought the second one was Black Flag. I don't know why I thought that. That one, that's not a movie. Movie trivia.
Here's a great one. Name two animated Disney movies in which both parents are present and don't die in the movie plot.
2.
And there's only 3 options.
Shit. What years are we talking here?
2 vintage and 1 Pixar newer. Not new, but newer. Think like 7 years ago-ish in that ballpark.
Okay.
Not quite 7, a little less than 7.
Brave.
No.
Okay,
Brave does count though.
That's
Brave
true.
counts. It's not on there.
That
Brave
is
counts.
true.
Yes. Okay, Brave counts.
Fuck me. 101 Dalmatians?
Yep.
Yeah, let's go.
The others were
fucking
Peter
go.
Pan and Inside Out were the other cited ones.
Let's fucking go. Brave also is true.
Brave counts. Brave counts.
Let's
Yes.
fucking go, boys.
All right, one more each.
Yeah, I think that's good. I gotta ask you.
Yeah, you gotta ask me a question, man.
Hold on, I'm gonna give you. I've got an action one. I'll do an action one. Name the boy band star who had a role in Dunkirk.
Oh, Harry Styles.
Yeah, man, you got it.
Yeah, man. You got it. Oh,
Fucking A.
I don't want to do that one.
He doesn't want to do this one. What about this one? Does he want to do this one? Let's find out. He might not want to do this one.
Which singer actor gave Marilyn Monroe a white poodle named Mafia? Super famous
singer actor.
Yeah, it's like the fucking.
Is it obvious?
Yeah.
Is it who I think it is?
I think so.
Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank God. It's like, is it who I think it is? How many did you get?
1, 2, 3, 5.
Oh, I got 4. Close. I came back a little bit in the end. Man, some of those were tough.
Dude, I skipped some because I was like,
the color of Danny Zuko's.
Well, and a couple of them didn't make sense. I was like, I don't know what this is asking.
I'd be fascinated to know what those questions
I'll try to
are.
find them.
But anyway, recommendations.
Do you have anything like specific to this, or
definitely not specific to this?
all right, I'll go first.
Yeah,
I am reading a book called Replay. It is from the 80s and it is fantastic. I'm not going to say too much, but it is a time loop movie or a book, and it is very interesting and very good. And I really, really like it. It's been a while since I've been like that obsessed with a novel.
Yeah.
So great. You should read that. The other thing I want to talk about this for a second. Have you heard of Milk and Cereal, the movie?
Never.
Okay. You're going to be fascinated by this, and this will be a podcast episode in October. My original theme was it's movies that will scare the shit out of Shane.
Yeah.
I'm amending that for 1 week of our 4 October movies. Because I don't think this movie's going to scare you. This is a movie. It is on YouTube right now. Made by 2 guys for $800.
Hell yeah.
And it's really quite good. They couldn't get distribution, so they just put it on Netflix or on YouTube. But man, is it good? Like it is interesting. The plot has really solid twists and turns. It's pretty scary. It's like that movie is really quite fascinating. I just watched it today, the day we recorded this. And really like genuinely was so impressed. I was so ready to be like cynical about it and be like, well, it really does look like it was shot for 800, but it's a found footage movie, and so like all of the visual choices like worked for me. Like there are times where stuff's like fully out of focus, but it feels really intentional in a cool way. Like I was into that movie.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna enjoy it. Like again, I don't think it's the scariest thing ever, but it's got some good scares.
Yeah.
And it's like it's just a really cool movie. And the fact that it was made for $800 is shocking to me. Because it does have like they're stealing locate. They're in a Home Depot just with a camera, like shoot, like they're doing shit like that, right? But like, man, is it a cool, good movie with like interesting twists and turns?
I'm excited,
dude. Seriously, I literally my Letterboxd review is all right. It's like, yeah, time to lock in and make something.
Yeah,
like,
no joke.
Like, dude, like that'll light a fire under your ass to be like, shoot, you can do this for $800. What can I do for $800? Like,
yeah.
Anyway. Milk and Cereal on YouTube. Just look it up, watch it. It is really interesting and cool. Like support these dudes. He's got a bunch of other shorts. I'm gonna watch them, but I haven't yet. But really cool movie. I'm gonna be thinking about that one for a while.
Yeah.
That's my recommendation. Go do that.
I'm just gonna pick a bunch of random shit, and based off of what you just said, a random YouTube creator that was doing cool shit. I haven't seen what he's been doing recently, but there's a dude named, I believe it's Kane Pixels, was doing a series of the Backrooms. He does all the animation himself, and he's like 60, or he started like 16 or 17 years old. Really spooky, really cool.
The main Backroom short is awesome.
It's
like
so fucking good.
The first one he did, or the first big one he did, or whatever. Awesome.
So fucking cool. And then he like spun out a whole like series of them. I haven't seen him in a bit.
No.
I don't know if he's like working on a bigger thing or whatever he's doing. I haven't seen. Anyways, those are all really cool. B-Boy Bowie Basie on TikTok. He's a political commentator, and he does some like cultural stuff. I was watching a TikTok of his earlier today, and it made me think of a movie idea that I really like out of nowhere. The movie Unforgiven, which is related to the movie idea I had. That movie fucking rules. Go watch that. Brat by Charlie XCX is like one of the best pop albums in a while. That record fucking rips. Listen to the extended version because she's got some the additional tracks. I'm like, why is this not on the full the normal album? Like, why is this just on the specifically Guess and there's a couple other ones that are really fucking good on there. Spring Breakers is also really good. That's one of the extended ones. The Guess remix with what's her name? With Billie Eilish, Shreds. A few random fucking things. There were The Adventure Zone versus Dracula is the Adventure Zone's most recent season that they just finished of the Adventure Zone. The Adventure Zone is a D&D actual play podcast with the McElroy brothers and their dad Clint, and it is so fun and so silly.
There's a tie-in comic book.
Oh, there's a tie-in comic to one of their other series. I believe it's Balance is the series that they did, and there's a tie-in comic for that. And it is so fun and silly, and because they have a bunch of characters that they created and a bunch of Creative Commons characters. So there's like Dracula. They've done a couple of live episodes where it's the same characters but with different like villains, and they did one with where the villain was Moby Dick, and they had Mickey Mouse as Steamboat Willie show up in it. And then they also had the most recent one that they just posted like this week as recording was The Adventure Zone versus The Great Gatsby.
Awesome.
It's so fun and so silly.
Versus is the best part of that.
It's not
just Adventure Zone, The Great Gatsby.
And Griffin Mackerel, the DM for this series, has not read The Great Gatsby, and so it's based off of a cursory Google search, as how he put it.
That's incredible.
It shreds. It's very fun. I highly recommend it. And then last but not least, basically everything that Dropout is doing. If you don't have a subscription to Dropout and you like anything to do with comedy, D&D, or
game kind of stuff, like
game
show formatted
comedy stuff, it's all hilarious. Game Changer's phenomenal. Actually's phenomenal.
What's the one where they improv an entire musical?
Oh, okay. That is there. So there's an episode of Game Changer that is that, but then they have another spin-off show called Play It by Ear. I believe so.
Well, the one you showed me, like, I quite literally watched it, and it was hilarious, but it stopped being funny at a certain point because I was just
good.
impressed.
Yeah,
I was like, whoa. Like,
and there's a few of those episodes where they actually just get like a group of people who do that thing.
Yeah.
They do that, and then there's an episode with the Improvised Shakespeare Company where they do an improvised play, but they have to add in like the names of cereals and 90s lyrics, and it is phenomenal how they're literally just doing Shakespeare on the spot, and it's fucking hilarious. And also they're still winning points by it's so good.
Awesome.
The improv talent that they have as a part of all of these series is truly phenomenal. So and then Everything Dimension 20, which is a series on which is their D&D series on Dropout, is all so good and so fun, and I love it all. So yeah, that's my random list of shit that I haven't watched all that many movies recently. I've been just like doing a bunch of other shit. And a bunch of other stressful shit in my life has been going on. And so I've been just watching a lot of YouTube and Dropout and random shit. So yeah, B-Boy Booey Basie. I'm not going to list them all again.
You have such a long list of shit to do now. You're good for the next 2 months.
Yeah.
You have so much for the next 2 months.
So much.
So you should go get on that.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Live your life.
Yeah.